Saying, I love podcast. Podcast got a podcast, baby.
It's a podcast.
It is a podcast.
It's a podcast.
If just barely.
Alright, so this week we've got Kyle, who's saying your lovely intro for you.
Yes.
You have me, and if you don't know by now, I'm Danielle. Nick's here, again.
Carrot cake and a butt muffin.
Charming as ever. Then,
I was trying to come up with a catchphrase, but it didn't work.
I'm going to come up with a catchphrase. Carrot cake and a butt muffin.
Oh, if that's not a shirt, I don't know what is. Jason's
And
here.
it has been
Hello there.
And we have Ash on the podcast.
Yes.
Yo!
Our lovely,
Not just recording
our
this
lovely
time.
editor Ash. He's with us today. Yay.
He's a real boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna... So if you're listening to this and I sound awesome, it's because I've made myself sound awesome.
He really sounds nothing like this in life, like at all.
No, like not at all.
Like the British
He's actually
accent
like
thing?
a 40-year-old
Not
French woman,
existent.
and you'll never know.
He's
Yeah,
from
just gets
America.
another person. He's gone and paid another person to record his audio for him instead.
A sexy person.
Even he couldn't handle how bad his voice sounded, he just couldn't make it better.
I feel like every boy that I know is just so beyond narcissistic, it's not even funny. I think
I
Jason
don't
is
know.
the only exception to this rule.
How was that
Why do you say we're
I was
narcissistic?
just insulting him.
No, I know. I'm just saying because Ash is like,
That's not the same
I'm
thing.
sexy, and then you're going to go on and say something later on in the podcast.
That's not
and then
narcissism.
Kyle is, yes, it's narcissism.
No, not if you're like, ooh, look at me. I'm saying that's not
That's
narcissism.
narcissism.
That's just being funny. That's just like, yeah.
That's narcissism, sweetheart.
No.
look at me, I'm so
Narcissism
great.
is like
That's
seriously staring into the mirror, like half fondling yourself, going, I'm sexy.
I'm sexy, yeah, no.
From a
But just
year.
kind of casually joking, oh yeah, look at me, I'm sexy. That's different.
No,
You did
it's
pretty much
Totally
just describe
different.
my entire weekend.
not. This is what happens when Becka works 19 overnight shifts and I get stuck to deal with this.
Could have just, left.
Well, you all were going to ditch me anyway, because God forbid you wait 15 minutes.
Yeah, you ask too much of us. We are men, we are apparently impatient. Unable to...
You are impatient.
Ah, it's a lie.
I'm very patient. I don't know why you would ever think I'm not patient.
Oh, yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
You couldn't come up with 6 different stories to tell me how I'm impatient.
I'm sure I can figure something out if I had the attention span of anything.
Of anything.
Because
Oh,
as
well,
You
see,
have
there-
the attention span of no living creature of any kind.
no, because as that podcast clip thing that we just watched reminded me, I
You
don't
can't
have an
bully
attention
people,
span.
Danielle. Can't do that. That is way too mean.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it reminded me that I had no attention span.
It reminded you had no... You had forgotten you didn't have attention.
I forgot that I said it on the podcast.
As you can tell, we're totally professionals.
Really prepared
We
for
are.
this.
Hey, I wrote down a list of topics we could talk
It's a
about.
choice. It
Topic
never,
lists are
ever
so
works.
stupid.
We're too
It doesn't matter if it ever works. It just matters that we wrote it down.
retarded, Kyle. We've tried it so many
It's the
times
thought
and
that
we never
counts.
get anywhere.
It's the thought that counts.
So should we just go down this list? So guys, let's talk about the RTX stuff that's been announced by this point. So mention that since this was pre-recorded, we can't say much.
Shh, no, it's not.
See, and now
Wait,
they
of
know,
course
and
it's
you did it
pre-recorded.
so
It's not as if we released a
interestingly.
live podcast.
It's always pre-recorded, except this time it's pre-released recorded.
It's extra.
I would hope it's
pre-recorded.
always pre-released.
Oh my god, we recorded it before we...
Shut the fuck up, you know what I mean.
No, I have no idea.
we released
okay,
it,
so-
and then we recorded it.
So to
That's-
clarify for people, we're recording this a couple days after we recorded episode 2. So it's after that recording, but it's before episode 2 is being released.
Because
And
our
that's my
editor's a
fault,
lazy
because
asshole
I'm
who's
on
doing other
holiday next
things.
week.
Oh, sorry, I just
Going
insulted you.
snowboarding.
Who does that?
I am,
Why
yeah.
don't you tell us about that? Where are you going snowboarding?
I'm going to Italy.
That's so fucking scripted. So, Why don't you tell us about that? This is Kyle from News 2. Like, no, what are you doing?
From News 2. There is nothing scripted about that. If I come up with it off the top of my head, I was genuinely interested.
The way that
Genuinely
you said
interested.
Anyway, where are you going ice skating?
Ice skating?
Ice skating.
I'm going
The pond in
snowboarding.
his backyard.
I'm going to the Italian Alps.
Oh, no.
So while you
Very
are probably
cool.
listening
You
to this, I
fancy,
will
huh?
be snowboarding.
I went snowboarding once in like the north of England. That was
That
fun.
doesn't count.
I've been skiing
I saw
a
a
couple
picture
times.
of Colorado once.
Skiing's for pussies, though.
Well,
I've been nothing.
Skiing is so simple.
I've ice skated, Nick, so we could ask me where I've ice
Yeah.
skated before.
That's apparently what I'll be doing.
Hey, that's what
Apparently.
everyone does. You just go abroad to go ice skating.
Yeah, you know, YOLO.
ice skate down the mountain.
What he hasn't told you, he's secretly a part of the Winter Olympics. So
Are
he's
you
going to
gonna
go out there
curl?
and do his little twirly thing.
I'm on the chicken bobsleigh team.
The Jamaican. Did you see that
Curling.
people have raised money for them to go to the Winter Olympics? Like on Reddit.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
this.
The whatever they're called, the Doge.
The Doge, the
They
fucked up
basically
fucking dog?
raised a load of money to help get the Jamaican bobsleigh team to the Winter Olympics.
Kyle! Jason, I'm
Like the
surprised you
Doge.
didn't-
That's
you
the
didn't
ugly
jump on
dog,
that.
right?
Yes.
I don't know what to say to that.
I can't even remember what the film's called. What film is that?
Cool runnings.
Cool Runnings! Although they've only raised 30 grand, I don't quite know how much they need to go to the Olympics.
Only 30 grand. Just, you know, spare
I think they
30
needed
grand.
80.
Yeah.
Because the story's been popping up a few times over the past couple of days. I think they needed 80 and
just
Reddit's
sounds-
got them 30 so far.
It just sounds so weird. It's like, we're going to kickstart our country's Olympics. If you could please donate.
I just went,
We promise we won't suck.
Hey, if you donate $10,000, you can enter in any event from our country that you'd like.
are you saying that for Jamaica?
Well, evidently,
But-
because they're the ones that need
You do realise that they're
Money.
the ones with Usain Bolt. They're not bad at everything.
Well, he's not Winter Olympics now, is
He
he?
might be. He
He straps some skis on his
Is he
feet
on
and
the-
starts
Is he gonna
running down a
run
slope.
down the slope?
He's gonna go skiing.
I don't think it counts.
he could be the runner guy in the bobsled team.
That's true. They probably win that.
That's how they
Yo,
did it,
did
isn't
you
it? They're
see
just sprinters. According
The
to
last
Cool
Winter
Runnings,
Olympics, that bobsledder got decapitated.
What?
Yeah,
he really?
Like one of the last Winter Olympics, like when they were doing like the trials to do it, he like went into his bobsled. The bobsled flipped over and then decapitated him.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Now, was this on TV, like,
Yeah, there's
as they were
video of it.
broadcasting the Winter Olympics?
I remember right after it happened, I watched the video on YouTube. Yeah, it was broadcasted. It was the trials to get into the Olympics, so all of that's broadcasted all the time.
Wow.
Now you've mentioned that, I'm going to have to put it in the link dump.
Do you
Yeah.
guys know?
If it's still on.
Do you guys know about Eddie the Eagle?
Eddie the
Of
Eagle?
course.
I'm pretty sure he comes on to tell kids not to do drugs, right?
No, it was back in like the 1980s or something. We didn't have anyone who did like whatever kind of skiing it was.
Ski jumping.
So, ski jumping, yeah. So this random guy who's never even skied in his life went and did it for England in the Olympics, and he was awful. But
Did he do good?
no, that's why I said he was awful.
Oh, I didn't hear the awful part.
And last year, he won Splash.
Splash?
Do you watch Splash?
No, I don't know.
No
what
idea
that is.
what that is.
Oh,
It's like a celebrity diving competition
What the
where
hell?
they take really terrible celebrities and try and get them to dive in the Olympic swimming pool every Saturday night live on television, and you vote for the best one and they go into a final where they dive against each other. It's called the Splash Off.
Now that is reality TV that you can get behind.
It's truly awful.
Terrible celebrities jumping off a diving board for really no apparent reason.
I would just like to retract a statement I made. He had skied before.
He had?
Yeah, but he was still really shit.
Ah, well.
Yeah, he was the British record holder. And he finished awful. Anyway, back to something mildly interesting.
So the next item on the list could mention our group that's going to RTX.
Didn't we do that last week? Well, 2 days ago.
Probably, yeah.
And apparently he's muted his mic. So
Yeah, he's gone. We've
that's
lost
a
him.
thing.
Huh. Well then.
Give me a
and
minute.
we've lost Danielle as well. So
So
No, I'm here. I just came back.
So-
I've been gone, so I have no idea what you guys talked about.
this just in, Kyle's in jail again.
What did we not mention? Is it the second thing on Kyle's list?
yeah, we did mention that.
We did. We mentioned that.
So I guess next
Oh.
one. Are we really just reading down this list?
No, we're not reading down this list. He's so stupid.
I am. I like lists.
Yeah,
I like order.
well, welcome to a Latecomers podcast. We don't know what the fuck we're doing ever, so
If you like order, you're in the wrong place.
it works for us.
I realised when I was doing the first link dump for the first podcast that I'm quite a bit older than you lot, so I must have a different kind of mindset to you guys, because you're all in your like late teens, early 20s, and I've just turned 26, so I've got like.
Beautiful.
Oh boy, you old
You're-
I
man.
know. I feel
3
old.
years- you're
I had
3
to
years
pay
older
for a
than I am.
TV
That's not
license
that
this
bad.
week.
Jason's 20. A TV that's the one thing I'll
Ash,
never get
I-
about you guys
I-
is a TV license.
I would
TV
be
license
meant
is
to have
weird.
a TV license, but I totally don't.
Narcissism is like seriously staring at the mirror, like half fondled.
That's an earlier part of the podcast.
Yeah. Kyle needs to make sure that his audio is still recording.
Just kind of casually joking.
Kyle,
oh
what
yeah,
the
look
fuck?
at me.
We are the pinnacle of professionalism.
This is amazing.
Are you still recording though? We need your audio.
Come on, Kyle. This is the first podcast
So
that
are
I'm
you-
on, and we've got nothing to talk about and hardly any audio. It's just going to be an hour and a
Are
half
you
of
rec-
silence.
Okay, real quick, are you recording again in Audacity?
Odds are I'm probably
Is it
recording
moving?
again.
If you're looking at it, do you see the red lines going?
I'm looking at it. I am.
Look at it. What do you mean odds are? You can look at it.
They are. It looks
Are
like
the
I'm
blue
alive,
lines
except
moving
instead of a
when you're
steady little
speaking?
beep beep, beep beep, beep beep, it's more like my heart just exploded.
Anyway, what were we talking
Who
about?
knows?
We were about to talk about.
Lists. We were talking about lists. Lists are stupid, Kyle.
How can you-
We don't
oh.
do lists.
Lists are not
Just meant in
stupid.
general.
When you make a list, you make it real. So,
What does that mean?
alright.
So if I'm just having an unscripted conversation with somebody, that means I'm not having an actual
If you
conversation
have to
with
clarify
them.
whether you have a conversation you have with someone is scripted or unscripted, you're looking at conversations wrong. This is a podcast. Different thing. Like,
So why
if
is
I'm
it-
talking to someone that I
Why
know
is it
that I meet in Walmart,
scripted?
I don't have a script for that, but I'm not going to call it unscripted. Like, you're putting terms in a place where it doesn't belong. A conversation isn't scripted or unscripted unless you're in like a play.
Damn girl, you just got told.
This is true madness.
But no, and the reason I say when you
I'm just trying to figure out why we can't have an unscripted podcast.
we can, but it's nice to have
Hey,
something
this
to
is
talk about for when we're
unscripted.
sitting there and it's like,
There's, Danielle, there's a difference between unscripted and structured.
No, because Kyle wants us to go down the.
did I ever
list
say
of
we had to
his.
go down the list or hit every single one of those topics? That silence
We have a
indicates
song
no.
intro yet. I'm reading it. My birthday is in a few days. This is a list tailored to you.
Okay, do you know where that list
Next
came
month.
from? For those of you that don't know, we
Mabel anniversary's
communicate
next month.
heavily
My
through
birthday's
Skype.
in a few days.
So on the talk about the podcast part of the Skype, I was like, anybody got any topics? And I put down a bunch of topics. So yes, this is my list.
Just why am I gonna talk about your birthday?
Who said you were going to bring it up?
Guys, breaking news. Kyle's birthday, it's in a few days.
Oh
Are you excited as I
My
am?
birthday is in a few days.
It's-
On the
It's exciting.
26th.
Wait,
January.
no, it's not, because it's next week.
So your birthday passed.
What did you do for
Yeah,
your
but
birthday,
by-
Kyle?
Well, a lot of black tar heroin.
I'm feeling Gus's pain now. I understand why he used to complain so much. What do you got planned for your birthday that's already happened?
I'm getting Dead Rising 3. I bought that while I still worked at GameStop, and then just let my parents give me the money that I paid for it for, so that way I could get
So
a good birthday present in.
So you did get fired from your temporary job, which isn't getting fired, it's just when your job comes to an end, because that was what was meant to happen from the start of it, because you're on a temporary job and you didn't seem to understand that.
But the good news is I haven't actually been fired, even though that I've actually been fired. I'm still in the system as an employee, but because, like, not including the people that are salaried, like, not including the salaried people, for the rest of the people that are in store, and there's only like 2 or 3 salaried employees, there's 73 hours to split between all the other people. So they're basically like, it's not that we don't like you, there's no hours. Should we get more hours, you might be on call again. And then they also put me in line to see if I can get a... They put me on the list for the other GameStop that's on Shepherd Air Force Base.
So, you want us to just kill one of them?
I'd have to kill a couple of them. Because I think there was like 10 of us that were based off hours during the holiday season.
Well, I hope you know that you're like probably at the bottom of that list. They're like, this Kyle kid.
Nah, man.
It's weird.
I was one of the only
weird
people to
guy
hit all the
wearing
sales
leather.
goals on there. It's in my blood. My grandfather was an insurance salesman. Motherfucker had to walk door to door back in the 60s.
Your grandfather worked at a GameStop.
How does that make it in your blood?
He was a
your
salesman.
granddad did a completely different job.
He was a
Therefore, it's in
salesman.
your blood.
I'm a salesman. I almost sold furniture. I couldn't. I had to turn them down on that job because
You're not a salesman if you almost sold something.
So I could have been selling furniture this whole time. Like, would you like a divan? Isn't this a lovely divan? Come feel the felt on the divan.
What's a divan?
You don't know what a divan is?
Is a divan something? No.
A divan is like a couch, but it's not, because a divan makes it sound
That
fancy.
sounds like a ghetto van. Like, look at the van. Like, I don't know.
Yo, look at the van.
Divan. It's a word that describes couch in a slightly
I've
more
never
fancy
heard
way.
that. If you
Is it a word?
if you say divan, I'm gonna think, hey, look at the car over there.
No, it's not
How is
divan. Hey, y'all, let's get up and go
I'm
here in my
pretty sure
divan.
you're pronouncing it wrong. I'm pretty sure you're pronouncing it wrong.
How is it spelled?
I don't know how to spell it. It's a divan. I would imagine D-E-V-A-N, but my ability to misspell
No, I'm
words
pretty
is
sure
legendary.
You're pronouncing it wrong.
No, I'm just getting loads
Comment
of pictures
below
of different
if
weapons.
you're a Scouser. What's a divan? Comment below if you know what a divan is.
Well, you search for divan. I'm going to talk about something that they mentioned in Skype earlier, but for different reasons than they thought.
Oh
They were
shit,
like-
he's right. I've googled it.
They were like,
Are we talking about
RoboCop might not be good. And do you know why I think they're right? They kept his fucking right hand as a human hand. If he makes
boy.
it through that movie with asymmetrical
way.
hands, something's wrong. You don't make a giant killer cyborg robot and make one of its hands a crippling piece of man flesh at the end of a giant robotic steel arm.
The point I was making about RoboCop is that the original one is fucking awesome.
It is.
One of the greatest films ever made.
Which is why he's getting a statue in Detroit that costs more
Yes,
than all
as
of
he
Detroit.
should. But Nick was saying
Is that
he thought it was
really
a bit shit.
happening?
Yeah, they're really making a RoboCop statue.
I can't
That's
remember.
amazing.
I can't remember RoboCop, but from what I can remember, it was shit.
You know, dead or
How do
alive, you're coming with me, man.
I just made a dog.
What?
I'm going to take a picture of this for LinkedUmp. I made a little dog. That's how much this is entertaining me.
So, you know how earlier you were saying you guys don't get the TV license?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Oh, that's what we were talking
jaywalking?
about.
Jaywalking
Yeah, what the fuck?
Jaywalking?
is...
Because it's my understanding from television that that means you guys aren't allowed to cross the road unless there's something that tells you can cross the road. And if you do cross
Okay,
the road when it's not there, then you have to pay the police money.
in giant air
Anywhere
quotes,
that there's a-
it is a law. Like, I
Yeah, no
don't
one really
think it's
follows it.
unenforced unless the cops are just actively trying to either be a dick or arrest you for something like the way they got gang mob leader guy for tax evasion instead of like umpteen murders.
That's how it
Or if
always
they're trying
happens.
to fill like their quota or whatever.
Yeah. Wherever there's a crosswalk, there's gonna be like a button to push so that the other side, it flashes, so like it'll have like the red hand up saying that you can't walk, or it'll have like the green guy saying that you can. And it controls the
No, it
traffic
does not.
lights.
In any way,
So
shape, or
once-
form, control...
Yes,
No, it does not. It does not
Yes, it
control
does.
traffic lights.
It lets somebody know that they're at the crosswalk.
If you think that that button is there to make you think
That is what
you
I think,
control
because that's
traffic
what happens
lights.
here. lets it know that there's somebody at the crosswalk. I don't know how yours are, but the ones that I have here do that.
No, it might add information to the system, but you pressing that button...
How do you know? How do you know how my crosswalks are?
I know how crosswalks are in general. It's more psychological to make the person there waiting to think they have some part in the system rather than just instantly, hey, there's a guy waiting, slam the red button.
My dad installs them, asshole.
My dad installs them. How do we know that?
Because my dad's an electrician, he does all that shit.
My dad's
I love how Kyle's defense is just shit.
Well, my dad works at Microsoft and he can ban you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking hate you. How the fuck am I gonna deal with a week and a half at an RTX house with you? I'm gonna slice your fucking throat.
Speaking of RTX house, did we mention that one of the things on that list that I made was we should mention we're going to the RTX house?
Did that last week.
Yeah, it has chickens.
Okay, Kyle... Yeah,
maybe
Kyle's
Carl.
just going to be dead on the first night next to all the chickens.
Maybe, Carl, in this week in between that one being released and this now obvious recording a week later, you should have listened to it.
No, the house we found is pretty bitchin' because it has fresh eggs.
It's not
It has
bitchin'.
chickens. It's got
chickens
3 somewhere in the back or something.
And it's for 8 people. How is that bitching? It's shit.
It's not shit. It has a grill. It has a kitchen.
You're talking about sharing
It has
beds.
a toilet.
That's not something you should have to be doing.
Do you want to find a place that's going to have like 8 separate beds? Because it's not going to have.
More importantly, I want the opinion of someone who's going to be in the house, not the poor bastard who's left in England.
Well,
I'm sensing some jealousy here.
I am...
Kyle's a little feisty
I can't even
tonight.
think what the fuck it's called.
Jealous?
Envy?
A bitch?
Impartial judge.
You are not an impartial judge. You want to come with us, and now you're just going to sit there and tear everything down. Every little thing that we have, we're going to be like, Nick, we met the AH guys. It was great. We met Bernie. You're going to be like, I don't care. No big deal. They're stupid anyway.
I off and drank a bit.
Wait a second. If the order you put that in is slightly disturbing.
Well, you got to drown your sorrows after your shameful masturbation.
Okay. You didn't say what you were going to drink, Nick, and that's what disturbs me the most. So when we were getting ready for the podcast, we were like, well, we got to open up with a song. And then that brought Nick to talking about, I have this story about me and somebody that had to do a dance routine in only 2 minutes. I have a fun story about a dance routine that a couple of friends of mine did just out of the fucking wild blue yonder. Alright? To set the scene, I think I was in 8th grade. And there was a dude named Cody Hoskins, and I think this was probably his junior year in high school. I don't think it was a senior. It might have been a senior year. And he was turning whatever old, probably 18 since it was high school. And they rented out whatever the local, this is the place you rent if you're going to have like a family and friend-sized party. Alright? So it wasn't full-on like we're out in the backyard having a kegger somewhere, because people's parents were there. These 2 dudes, and I believe it was Ducky and... Yes, Ducky. Ryan Clark.
Like
he
NCIS?
has since joined the army and probably killed a lot of motherfuckers.
Like from the Land Before Time?
Yes, like that Ducky. Actually, he got that nickname because when he runs, he would bob his head really fast, kind of like he was sucking somebody off, but he looked like a duck when he did it. No, great guy, and he was fast as fuck, too, so you could laugh at him, but then he'd outrun you, and it was one of those kind of things. And then, who was the other guy? It was, Michael. Another guy, he joined the Navy, not the Army, though. There was a lot of jokes about being surrounded by seamen. Anyway, they painted themselves blue and green, and wearing almost nothing, show up in the middle of this party where people's parents are there and everybody's just kind of eating, and they just start doing a full-on 3.5-minute dance routine, like throwing each other like sort of in the air and landing and all sorts of weird shit. And it was fucking hilarious and awesome. But just showed up random, mostly naked, covered in paint. And no one understood why. There was no warning, no context. It wasn't like everybody was dancing and they just showed up in the middle of the room. This happened. They were like, thank you, and left. I felt I needed to share that.
Not gonna lie, I did not pay attention to a single second of that story. I got distracted by Facebook.
Yep, same. Exactly the same thing. I just wasn't listening.
I thought it was a great story, Carl.
Thank you.
I'm sure I'll listen back on this podcast and laugh a little bit, but until then, sorry,
Danielle was looking at Ninja Turtle smiley faces.
That smiley face looks like a Ninja Turtle.
It does.
Just a warning, in a moment I'm going to be going for a little bit, but I will return, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Just say goodbye.
What's going to stop
Just say your goodbye.
Are you going to
All right, see you
die?
tomorrow.
Are you going to get lost?
Talk to you later.
Potentially goodbye, everyone.
Potentially, we
Yes.
hope you survive.
What do you think Nick's doing? Do you think he got that hookup from Facebook?
No, remember when he
Yeah,
said something about
totally.
drinking and jerking off?
That's what he's doing.
He's opening the bottle of whiskey with one hand.
If we just start hearing a fapping noise, like, don't be concerned.
You back already, Nick?
So remember in the first podcast where we were like, hey, if you ask a question while we're recording a podcast, we'll automatically ask that question on the podcast?
You ruined it, guys.
Yeah, you ruined it. We're not doing that anymore.
You see,
Still ask us questions. Don't worry about that. We'll ask them.
Was it everyone,
I'm trying
or
so
was
hard
it
to
just
say
Matt
ask
that
and
ruined
not
it?
ask.
there might have been other
It was
people
just
that
Matt
asked.
that ruined it. No, it was just Matt.
Was he
that
the only
ruined
one that asked? All I know
Matt was the only one.
is we put it in good faith that people might randomly ask a question and it would be, by pure coincidence, the same time. Or that if you were on TeamSpeak and saw us recording, maybe you'd asked one or two. I think Matt asked
About
15,
50
20 questions in the course of a minute and a half.
Tried to keep true to my word, and I answered as many as I could, but Matt, you ruined it for everybody else. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, you can't ask that many questions. That's ridiculous.
I'm partially to blame because he was chatting to me while I was listening to the
Yeah,
podcast.
you little bitch. I forgot about that. We do not team up with the enemy, Ash.
I didn't realise he was going to go that far. He was just asking me, "Are you guys on a podcast?" I was going, "Yeah, we're doing some recording right now." And then he said, "Haha, I'm going to ask a question." And then about 5 minutes later, I hear you guys over TeamSpeak going, "Fucking Matt and all of his questions."
And then you went back to him with the whole, cyan thing. Never mind. Anyway. Not doing that anymore.
Has anyone else asked
Put
any
down.
questions? Or is it just Matt?
No, there's a lot of questions, just... There was about 50 from Matt from the last time, so...
Yo.
Oh, are you back?
Uh-huh.
Alright,
Can you go again? We were having a
so
good time.
Daniel read that, which is a question I'm going to
No, Nick,
ask,
come
not
back.
as a question on the thing, but I put it there as more of a reminder in a way that would be brought up pretty funnily towards the end. But it's not the end, so I'm going to read it anyway.
Nick, baby, come back.
Baby
You
got
can
back.
blame it all on Jason.
Hey,
Hey.
For those of you that don't know, I got a ticket for driving without a seatbelt.
Fucking
Oh, you're
dumb.
going to jail.
Hence the Free Kyle 2014. Well,
That's not a thing.
I went to the city prosecutor's office this morning and got it dismissed because I have a clean record and no previous tickets and all that fun stuff.
And you fucked the judge.
No, I didn't fuck the
It
judge.
was a man
No,
in the
Was he
butt.
hot?
no.
With
But,
penis.
interestingly, and perhaps poor timing for me that you say something like that, my question was, would you flirt with a member of the same sex should they, since if they put off like the gayest vibe you've ever felt, if you thought it would help you get a ticket dismissed, would you flirt with them?
Yeah,
No.
Yes.
no.
for sure. I don't want to fucking pay money.
I'm a horrible flirt. I would probably just end up getting a citation for bad flirting, so I'm just going to avoid it altogether.
You see, it's easy for me because flirting is just existing. So it's more of a would I choose not to flirt, and I would have to suppress that by wearing a balaclava and stuff.
I'm sort of in the same boat as Danielle. I would probably get charged more because of that.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with
So you
no.
don't know how to flirt? Is that what your answer is? You would if you could, but you can't?
I don't think I would if I could either.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'd rather not chance it.
Well, to get out of a ticket, though.
Yeah, no, I'd rather just pay the ticket.
How much is a ticket for you guys?
I don't know, mine was over $100, and it was free to go in there and ask, so I went and asked.
It's over 100.
No idea. Never gotten a ticket.
Yeah, I'm not an awful human being, so...
I have gotten a ticket once, but not from driving.
That's because you're an awful human being, like Nick just said.
I got a ticket once because we were going to a New York Yankees game, which, if you're not from here, that's a baseball team. And I really never went into the city before then, and my asshole ex got us all drunk before that, and then decided he wanted to hop the turnstile in the subways.
Alcohol is for devil.
And then him and like 2 other of our friends got tackled by the police officers down there, and we almost got arrested, and I got a $300 ticket.
Jeez.
What did you get a ticket for if he jumped over the turnstile?
Because we all followed him.
She left out the part
so
where I also jumped the thing.
No, I didn't jump it, I just walked through it. He jumped over it, I walked through it, and we all got tickets. But we were all drunk too, and at the time I was only 19, so like I wasn't allowed to drink.
That's the point. Is like... I've seen some things. Is like drunk in public a crime over there?
It is,
Yeah.
but you have
It's a
to...
crime over here.
Yeah, but,
You can be
Is it
drunk
really,
and in
though, Ash?
public, as long as
Yeah,
you're
you can
not
be drunk
being
As long as you're not starting a
outrageous in
fight
public.
or being disorderly and stuff.
no, but drunk and disorderly is like if you're smashing stuff and like pissing everywhere and like punching
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
it is here.
Oh, okay.
If you're just walking down the street and you're drunk, it's not going to make a difference. They're not going to arrest you.
Okay.
As long as
If you're a functional
21 and
drunk,
over.
you're fine.
If you if you get caught drinking and you're under 21, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So
I
thought
think
it
there's
was
rules
just,
about
if you're
like
drunk and wobbling around a bit.
public drinking, like if you are
What is
drinking
that
on the
noise?
street or something.
see, I'm trying to ignore it because I know it's not going to come up in his audio. So I don't want to yell at him.
Oh. I think there's laws about I was saying to Nick, I think there's rules that you can't just drink in public. Like you can't drink you can't drink up a whiskey on the street. That's why they
Oh,
always
no,
have
you
to
can't
put
do
it in
that here
bags.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have. There's a law against open alcohol.
Yeah.
Unless you're in like somebody's backyard or something, it's fine. Or like a block party where you get a permit.
Or like a
But other
patio
than
or
that,
something.
you can't have open alcohol in a car either. So like say like you have a vodka bottle that you're trying to bring to a friend's house, it's got to be completely sealed shut. And if a cop comes and it's not, you can get arrested for it.
Wow.
And the best part, this goes back to my story being at the courthouse. The prosecutor's office is separate from the courtroom, but it's the same waiting area to actually get into it. Because I guess I've seen different ways how courts work, but this one, there was a waiting area, and there was a small room, I guess, for small fines or something like that. On that door was you must have a shirt to go to court. You must have shoes to go to court. And it goes through this whole long list of like, do not eat while in court. Turn your phone off while in court. And it's like, my God. These are rules you had to go to like elementary school. You had to wear clothes. How are you old enough to go to court and don't wear
Elementary
fucking
school?
clothes?
There was a great thread on Reddit today that was what's the stupidest warning label you've ever seen? And the top voted answer was, do not fold the buggy up while the child is still in the buggy.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
So, Kyle, did you flirt to get out of your ticket? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, but it was something I thought about while I was in the waiting room.
Would you? I don't think. Did you answer that? Would you flirt with a?
I would if I would
Somebody
have had to have.
See, like, also my fear with that would be, even if they give off that vibe, what if they're not? What if it's just like a really dykey looking girl, and I'm just assuming that they're a lesbian? So I'm like, hey, like lower my shirt down a little bit.
for
like, get
for
my
the
wig on.
purpose of a hypothetical question, you know.
Go for
Like,
it.
let's say
Like-
maybe they've even actively hit on you. Because for the purpose of the question, it's not you're going to roll the dice because you think they are. It's just, you know dead on, would you?
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, in a real life situation, if they were to give off that vibe, like, I would be terrified that they're not, because there are so many people that I think are gay, and they're not gay.
Nah, I got a
Like, I have
pretty
such
good gaydar.
bad, like, gaydar. No, I've had such a shit one. It's so terrible.
I thought all girls had good gaydar.
Like, I'm good with gay guys. It's like, gay girls that don't look like dykes that I have a problem with.
It's the gay pretty ones, damn it. She just can't tell.
But even like some gay guys, I have no idea. I don't.
Kind of like there was always
but, like, see, I guess
there was always the running rumor that Vin Diesel was gay. Was that ever proven?
Vin Diesel's bi.
I guess like I just don't give enough of a shit about people's sexual orientation. Like I don't judge them off of that. That I never really look at it until like you actually tell me you are or you aren't. So I just think I just have a shit radar because of it. Oh, because I'm an open-minded person.
Wait, Vin Diesel's bi?
I'm pretty sure.
I heard he was gay, but then told people he wasn't gay, and then had to have a press conference about it.
I would not have guessed that.
See, that was my thing. It wasn't like I was condemning the man, but I was just like, he doesn't look gay.
This sounds legit.
He looks like a man who swims through women.
Who swims through women. I wonder if that's actually his name, or if he's really like Clyde McConnelly or something.
Clyde McConnelly.
I'm sure he's got a really boring real name.
Apparently he refuses to deny or confirm his bisexuality.
He voiced the Iron Giant, which is one of my favorite movies, so he's cool in my books.
He's with a girl at the moment. Paloma Jimenez.
Yeah, they've been together for 7 years and they've got a kid.
But he shags men on the side.
Maybe you don't. Just
Please tell me that's what it says on the Wikipedia entry. Just like that.
Do you want to know Vin Diesel's real name?
It's like something so boring, isn't it? I can't remember what it is. Mark Vincent or something.
Yeah, Mark Sinclair.
Yeah.
Sinclair's not actually even a bad last name. I mean, it's not Diesel, but Sinclair's, I don't know, got a little flair to it.
Oh, he's Groot.
Vin Diesel's a twin brother.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vin Diesel has a twin brother. Maybe the brother's gay, and that's why people are getting them confused.
No, his brother looks
Maybe they're both
like
bi
him.
and they
His
shag
brother
each
has
other.
hair.
Oh my god, did you just say that? What is wrong with you?
Oh my god, his brother, like, looks... Oh my god.
His brother looks so amazing. He's got a Jufro.
He's got a what?
He's got a Jufro.
Well, that explains the shaved head, doesn't it?
What the fuck?
See, I would rather...
I just stumbled across
I
this
would
picture
rather
of Vin
Jufro.
Diesel with like the worst Photoshop ever to make him look like the devil.
Oh, really? Because I have one of Vin Diesel either kissing himself or kissing his twin brother, so... See, this look does not do anything for me. Like, the ball, no.
Well, this has already been established. You like those disco dinosaurs.
No! Hairy chests scare me, too. What the fuck is this?
What's happening to Danielle?
She's getting lost in a sea of Vin Diesel.
She was just
I
eaten
am
by her
lost
dog.
in a sea of Vin Diesel. I just remembered Jaden Smith and had to go and look at his fucking Twitter.
Oh my, that kid, man, that kid.
Oh, his Twitter's ridiculous.
Ridiculous good or ridiculous bad?
Ridiculous bad.
Ridiculous
No,
bad.
good. It's good.
No, it's
No,
bad.
it's terrible. It's like, how does this kid even exist?
And this is Jaden of Will, right?
Yeah.
I guess his
The whole
father just
family's
retained all of
bonkers.
the cool. Because Will Smith always seems like one of the coolest people. Right? Like, unless he just does weird shit in private I've never heard of.
Cool son. One
He
of
used
his
to be,
sons
but now he's a Scientologist, so he's rubbish.
Is he really?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a Scientologist.
No.
Fuck.
Alright, so Jaden Smith's Twitter, he only talks in capital letters. Like, but like not like full capital letters, so it looks like he's
Like,
yelling.
on
Each
each
word is
word?
capitalized.
Oh,
Like,
I
each
hate.
and every single
I
word.
hate
Why
that.
would you do, like, every Twitter he tweets is like the title of a book?
Why
Yeah.
you do this?
After
he-
all the other tweets he tweeters, I don't know, and they're all fucking moronic, he then says, the more intelligent somebody becomes, the more I fall in love with them.
That's what I just
And
read.
he just like preaches, like he's got one which just says, accept the truth.
Or how
Accept
about
the
this
truth.
one? I don't like the tweet, but the new Hunger Games is literally amazing. You don't like the tweet, but you have like 19 tweets in a day.
I don't like to tweet, and I haven't tweeted in months.
If you If you turn the state of Alabama into one giant farm, the land area could grow enough food to support 10 billion people.
We need to stop teaching the youth about the past and
How would you
encourage them to
support the
change
people
the
you
future.
kick out of their houses to make the farm then?
Evidently, fuck them, it's Alabama, but I
apparently-
don't think the Crimson Tide's going to put up with his little ass.
Guys, panic. According to Jaden Smith, there are no nutrients in our food anymore, or in our soil, or in our water. Fuck.
Wait, time out. Should there be nutrients in water? Because I thought that was
Yes,
like nothing. Nothing should
there
be
should
in
be
water.
nutrients in everything.
There should be nothing in water. Water should be like...
You would have
Nothing.
to eat 5 apples today to get the same nutritional value as an apple from 1950. Hashtag fallow.
Okay, but
Guys,
that's true, though, only because those apples helped win the war.
How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?
Yeah, I should stop just...
When I die, period,
This one's...
then you will realize.
This one's pretty amazing. I should just stop tweeting. The human consciousness must arise before I speak my juvenile philosophy.
What the hell?
What a dick.
Trees are never sad. Look at them every once in a while. They're quite beautiful.
Raisins? Is that what he said?
Yeah,
May as
man, the
well.
raisins are sad.
Raisins.
If newborn babies could speak, they would be the most intelligent beings on planet Earth.
No. Newborn babies do speak, and they do this.
People used to ask me, what do you want to be when you get older? And I would say, what a stupid question. The real question is, what am I right now?
Oh, I can't remember what it says, but he's got one.
He's a dick.
Oh, fuck. It's one
He
where
just-
he's like... He writes about how he was reading a book, and then he's like, one of his friends speaks to him, and is like, oh, you're reading a book. You're really old. And he was like, I turned 13 a long time ago.
No, this is not what I'm reading. Ready? It's your birthday, Mateo said. I didn't respond. Are you not excited to be 15, he asked. Reading my book, I uttered, I turned 15 long ago.
What does that mean? I
Because
like
he's
the
so
ones where,
sophisticated and intelligent, because he learned how to read a book.
I like the ones where he's half a step away from being like, Confucius say, those are the best.
We're Big Brother. Guys.
Oh,
Did you know that?
apparently most trees are blue. That's a revolution to me.
I think some of that Scientology is rubbing off on the poor kid.
Yeah. He was probably raised in a hole.
You know, he's going to be Black Harry Potter, but with real magic because he's a Scientologist.
This one's great because he spelled it completely wrong. I think he means Moses, but he wrote, if I was Moises, where would I be?
What did he say other than misspelling? If I was Moises, where would I be?
Yeah.
Smack dab in the middle of the Red Sea. I mean, where else is Moses going to be?
I think he spelt this one wrong as well. I'll never forget the blogs that believed in me since the begging.
Since the begging. Like he was a poor kid once.
People tell me to smile. I tell them the lack of emotion in my face doesn't mean I'm unhappy.
I want to drop beaches, but you guys can't handle it.
What?
I would love to watch Jaden Smith just drop beaches. I
Oh, like, he's rich though, so he'll be playing with real life, like we have to play
Sandcastle,
SimCity.
bitch.
would seriously retract all the things I've said bad about him if he could just like carry beaches around and just put them down wherever he wanted.
Well, yeah, because he could pick your ass
Ready
up
for
and
this
throw
one?
you into space.
Guys, ready? This is a subtweet. You bout to make me drop
I'm
tight, just punch
yeah.
you normal people in the face. For my republic I stand. You know the rest.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
You bout to make me drop kite, just punch you normal people in the face. What?
I can't.
Words.
What is the Sixth Amendment?
What?
Aren't you guys all supposed to know your laws? What's the Sixth Amendment?
I didn't hear what you
What
said.
is the Sixth Amendment?
Oh, Sixth Amendment? What is that? I should know that.
Isn't it like the right to bear arms?
No,
or
2 is
something?
right to bear arms. 5 is, it's self-incrimination. I think 6 is like speedy trial and stuff like that.
Because apparently, I only apply to the Sixth Amendment.
You Nick, only get the Sixth Amendment?
Fifth Amendment's the right to, not, I plead the Fifth.
Yeah.
You don't have to... Okay, the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution is the part of the United States Bill of Rights that sets forth rights related to criminal prosecutions. Supreme Court has applied the protections of this amendment to the states.
It's the one that's about speedy, fair trial, jury, all that fun stuff. You don't have to read
We're learning things on this podcast.
Back to the podcast. Now that you've all gotten your daily dose of Jaden.
So is that going to be a permanent fixture? Are we going to just make fun of him, or do we want to make fun of at least a random celebrity every time we're on? It's we don't.
No, I think next
we don't have a topic.
I'm going to get Miley
Let's
Cyrus.
make fun of someone.
Oh, that's something that people could do. If you know a funny Twitter account that's a celebrity account, post it somewhere so we can read it, because that'll probably be funny.
Justin Bieber tweeted how to ollie on a snowboard, which I'm pretty sure is just jump in the air.
Alright, we're done. No more.
Tied to your feet.
We draw the line at Bieber. So let's leave it. There's room enough for one Canadian on the podcast, and we've already got Jason. So,
Jason, do you buy your milk in a bag?
What?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Do you really?
Milk in a bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they have in Canada.
Okay.
They have
Do they just chop off a cow's udder and then they call it milk? I mean,
no.
what?
That's not a bag. That's just an udder.
I don't know how many times I've had to explain this to Americans. Okay, it's not that hard a concept to get. Okay, so you get they're about 1 liter, sort of plastic bags of milk. They're sort of rectangular,
It's
tall,
like you're buying box
ways.
wine, but milk.
No, hold on.
Yeah,
and you get 3 of those, and they come together in sort of a pack, and you take one of those, you put it in sort of a plastic container, snip off the corner, and you pour it.
That's dumb.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
It uses a lot less plastic than jugs or.
Doesn't sound
so much less
the
plastic.
Canadians all eco-friendly.
Environment. Go to hell, Al Gore.
How can you take the piss out of people for being more eco-friendly?
That's the reason we do it.
Loser. You're
So
loser.
what they say
Fuck
about
yeah,
Canada
America.
is true. They are polite and eco-friendly.
Is Canada eco-friendly a big stereotype?
Yeah, I've always heard that,
Is it?
imagine all the things...
Imagine all the people.
See, I've always heard that Canada doesn't do anything.
Yeah, Canada is home to, the nicest people on Earth, is everything I've ever heard.
And maple
But
syrup.
they don't do anything.
Yeah, when they have maple syrup and Mounties and
And they have dry-fruit donuts.
the Great White North or whatever.
They have what, why?
They have dry-fruit donuts.
Don't even understand.
You know how we have Burger King and you have a drive-through?
Oh, drive-through.
Oh, drive-through
I thought
donuts.
you were
No, we
saying
have those.
Oh, drive-through. Yeah.
Dried
I thought you-
fruit
Yeah, we have-
donuts.
One of the great Canadian things is this awesome place called Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
It's
Tim
basically
Hortons
the
is fucking
same.
incredible.
It's basically the same thing as Dunkin' Donuts, but it's the Canadian version essentially.
So it's nicer.
I have a Tim
And-
Hortons.
I want Krispy Kreme.
And it's Krispy Kreme's alright.
Hey,
But
Jason.
a lot of them have drive-throughs. You can just go
See,
through, get your
Jason,
donuts or
You
whatever.
can have Tim
When you-
Hortons.
When you get here, there's a Tim Hortons right in Penn Station. I'm gonna bring you to it, and then you can tell me if it's a real Tim Hortons. or not.
Do you know what we have in...
I'll have to do that because from what I've heard, the Tim Hortons that are in the States are terrible compared to Canadian.
No,
Yeah, I'll
you
bring
need
you
to
to it
come
and
to
you can tell
Archer
me.
City, Texas, where there is what used to be a Sonic before it got closed down because I think they were selling drugs, and it's owned by this Asian guy now, and he sells donuts and fried rice, and they are
That's
good
an
donuts.
interesting combo.
It is a very amazing, if not stereotypical, Asian thing that he's selling fried rice, and his donuts are fucking great. And it still looks exactly like a Sonic, except I think they painted over everywhere where there was Sonic words. It was just gray paint.
I'll be the judge of how great those donuts are.
Oh God, you and Becca, the stupid donut shit.
Donut mess.
Why are you hating on their donuts? Like, why
It
do
just annoys
why do you
me.
hate
They're
that they
just so
like
obsessed with
donuts?
the donuts.
Okay. We share a mutual love of food and donuts in particular. Don't hate.
I think we all love food. And bitches love salsa. But I don't think your obsession with donuts is healthy.
That's still the greatest video in the world.
It is.
Bitches love salsa. All types of salsa.
Bitches love salsa. All kinds of salsa.
Guys.
Didn't you say he was recently arrested for being, like, rapey?
Yeah, he just got accused of raping his ex-girlfriend.
Everyone's raping these days.
The guy that made this video on Vine. Curtis Lepore.
Is he climbing in
Him
your
and, like-
window, snatching your people up?
Him and this, like, other Viner, her name's Jessie Smiles, they met up at, like, a meet after they just kept sending videos to each other on Vine. And then, like, 3 weeks later, they broke up, and now, like, she's accusing him. She hit her head in, like, when she was making a Vine and got a concussion. So he came and flew to her to take care of her. And she's saying that when she was, like, drugged up or whatever, he had butt sex with her. And she's saying it's rape because she didn't know that he had it.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Wow.
I don't know. I think it's all, like, a publicity thing on her part.
If it makes you feel any better, Danielle, if you get a concussion, I don't think we're going to fly to you and have butt sex.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Like, well, I mean, especially, like, unconscious you. That would be kind of weird. Because you'd just be sitting there.
But
that-
it will be easier.
Well, I mean, it would be easy. But it's not as much fun.
It'd probably take your mind off things.
Oh my god.
Do you want to move on to questions so I can go to bed?
No,
Go for it.
Okay.
you can never go to bed.
Cranky.
We're going to make a 2-hour podcast just so you have to stay awake.
No,
That
I
is-
can't do that. I must sleep as well.
Who has the hairiest bum?
It's probably me. I'm like a fucking Wolverine down there.
I'm going to give it to you.
Alright, Ash, it is.
Do you have the issue where you sometimes get like pooey hair?
Oh,
I think the correct
What,
word
on
for
your
that
head?
is dingleberry.
No, on your like poo hole hair.
seriously?
No, I clean up after myself. What's wrong with you?
Well, it's.
Why are you doing it right, Nick?
You're not doing it.
I'm saying what I'm paranoid, but I'm always gonna have like shitty bum hair.
Can we say this for, like, when it's an all-guy podcast, please?
I'm gonna get you a B-day for Christmas.
What? And
We're
I'm
going to
just
just
like,
buy you a bottle of
sit in
Nair
the
before
middle
we
of
meet
my-
up at RTX.
Is that not a worry in your life?
No!
I've never really thought about it before, to be honest.
What the fuck?
Just
Like,
think
I worry
about
about
it.
some stupid shit. Never that.
Just think about it though. You're like wiping shit through your hair pretty much. You don't know whether you're like.
Okay, can we move on?
Yeah.
I don't know what
I don't even want to have this conversation with you when it's not
I
being
really might
recorded.
go throw up.
You know all those girls at RTX that were going to be like, you're on a podcast, Nick, you want to fuck me? Now they're not because of this particular conversation. It's like, there's going to be, in their minds, there's going to be a battle between he has an accent, that weird poo talk. And they're just not going to be, they're going to be like, at odds.
I don't know. Andy seems to be alright with the ladies, and he talked about wiping his jizz on the wall. So.
Okay.
No,
Alright,
What?
here's a question.
Go on.
Because we're moving away from this.
I guess no one here listens to the internet box.
Alright, are you ready? You gender swap for a day. How long before you start to play with yourself?
Maybe 10 seconds.
I wouldn't
I'm
even
gonna have
last
to
that
go with
long.
that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
I-
much immediately.
Yeah, I think I would too.
there might be like 10 seconds of just appreciation, just like
I'd probably look in a mirror first.
looking in a mirror,
Yeah.
and just being like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I mean, the worst case scenario, though, is you turn out to be an ugly girl. And then you're just like, well, I'm going
Yeah,
to go
but
eat
you've
some
still
ice
got
cream.
boobs to play with.
What if you don't?
Still got a
Oh,
vagina.
that's sad.
Wah.
I'm just going like frolic.
Right?
Through the fields.
No, I'll just go out into my front garden and just convulse around on the floor.
So Nick becomes a woman and loses his goddamn mind.
That's a mating display. That's how I select my women. Who has the best convulsions?
Danielle, would you say that's an accurate portrayal of how women select women baiting them in? They go out on the front yard and just kind of convulse. I mean, obviously it worked for Salsa Guy, but I mean, what about you?
No comment. You will not know our secrets.
Well, I mean, we heard them earlier when you were talking about seducing the judge. You're just like, yeah, pull my top down. Apparently that is your go-to flirting. You're just like, tits.
I don't know how to flirt.
When you're a girl, boobs are your winning, like you're saving grace in some situation.
To be fair to Danielle, that would work on me.
Do you guys know what your stripper names are?
Mm.
You know, like I assume it's the same as porn star. It's your first pet as the first name, and then the street you grew up on as your last name. So I would be Biscuit Reeds.
I would be Copper Thrift.
Copper Thrift.
That's not too bad.
That's good.
I would be Sammy Thorncliffe.
I thought you said Semi at first. I was like, why did you have a pet called Semi?
Holy shit! I would be.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking dog. If I go back to my fish, then I would be Angel Thrift.
Oh wow, you're a definite
which one would be
stripper.
better?
See, if I was going for dog, I would be a woman. I would be Lottie.
I was about to say, the only pet I can remember's name would be like Sugarfoot. So I would be Sugarfoot Oakwood, and that's
Sugarfoot. You had it.
I think that's the best one.
Although,
Ash, what would you be?
if we're going off of
Cosby Alphal.
What?
Mine doesn't really work.
no, you
Say,
sound
I think you're like a
super
college
upmarket
professor.
stripper. You'd be like, "Hey, I'm Cosby."
Cosby Alphal.
Kyle's. Hey, sugar.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sugarfoot.
Sugarfoot
But
Oakwood.
yeah, if we were going off of like pets in my house, then I would be called Supersonic. Would be my first name. Which I feel would be a pretty good porn name, at least. Maybe not for strippers.
Yeah, if we
But-
go to where I live now, I would be
I mean, it's no
Dakota
Lexington
Avenue.
Now I would be Sugarfoot 505 South Center Street. There's a hell of a ring to that.
Now everyone knows where you live.
And what are they going to do about
Send
it?
him things.
Come to me in the middle of the night, open my door, and seduce me? I don't know.
Rape you.
Hi, I'm
I
Sugarfoot.
hope Jim gets to it.
Oh, God.
Alright. Sugarfoot. What, was it a dog or was it a cat? What was it?
No, it's the same cat we have now. It's the only pet I can remember name. Like, I had goldfish, but I don't know if we ever named them. Or if it was just like, hey, Mom, there's the fish. Let's feed the fish. It's not a real animal, so we only call it the fish.
I watched one of my friend's fish eat like another fish in the fish tank. It was pretty brutal. He named one of his fish after me. It was beautiful.
Was that the one that lived or died?
He was just like chilling. He was like, just let him get on with it.
Kyle, why don't you think a goldfish is a real fish?
Goldfish are real fish.
You
Unless
said you didn't give it a name because it's not a real animal.
Yeah, no, like,
It's
fish don't count. Like, you
They don't.
can't... There's nothing endearing. There are no characteristics about a fish that can make you love it.
That's
Outside
why
of the fact that maybe it
vegetarians don't
looks
give a
neat.
shit.
Like, a dog,
Well,
even
it's
though I
not really
hate
an
dogs... Dogs, you could have, like, air quotes, personality. Same thing with cats. They'll at least come up to you, they do stuff. A fish just fucking sits there, and it has no eye. Like, fish eyes are just a black dot. A fish has no soul. That's why, and I shit you not, there are vegetarians that will eat fish because they don't consider it to be like other animals.
When was the last time you almost died? And that was X'd by Dr. Headshot.
I actually do have a story about that.
Yeah, me too.
This was 6-7 years ago. Over March break one year, my family went to a mountain a couple hours up north from where I live to go like skiing. And one night I was doing like some skiing at nighttime, and I was going for like one final run down the hill. There weren't many people around, and as I was going down, a deer jumped out of the woods right in front of me, and I almost hit it. I was like 1 second off from smacking it. I mean, I don't know if I would have died or not, but I could have got like seriously injured.
Oh my god!
Not many people around.
If you could have tackled that deer and like snapped its neck, and just like you walk back to your family, it's like I have found dinner, and just thrown it on the ground.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have just ended up with a bunch of broken ribs and mangled on the slope, just kind of slowly sliding down the hill.
Damn.
I think I've told this story on the Mother thread before, but maybe, about 7 years ago for me as well, when our college went on a trip to Barcelona, and they have a metro system, like the tube, which is all automated. And we had gone out for dinner and got really pissed, and on the way back, we saw these Spanish kids, when the doors for the tube closed, they stood on the outside ledge of the door, and rode the train down the platform as it took us to our next stop. And because we were pissed, we thought that was hilarious. So we thought we'd give it a go. So we all got off the tube at our stop and the doors closed, and then we stood on the little ledges outside the train, and the train started moving, and it was loads of fun. And then the train got faster and faster, and I looked around, and all of my friends had jumped off. And we're going pretty fucking fast. So I jumped off, lost my footing, fell on my ass, and slid 30 feet down the platform, waving at my friends, because I was pissed. And I only stopped when my head met a metal bench that was drilled into the floor.
Oh my god.
And I've got a scar about 1.5 inches long on the back of my head where I split the back of my head open. On,
oh my god.
the thing. And I think I was concussed. But I honestly don't really remember, because I went out drinking.
I don't think it was the drinking that did you in, man.
I woke up the next morning and my pillow was covered in blood, like it had soaked all the way through the pillow into the bed. I'd been bleeding all night. It's a great scar, though.
Oh my god.
It's probably even better story for any of the girls that woke up next to you. It's like, where'd all this blood come from? It's absolutely normal. I'm sure that blood's fine.
Oh, it's just my skull was bleeding.
I wrestled a train and won.
I beat the train, but the platform kicked my ass.
I have one, and it's not from that long ago, actually. I went to Hershey Park, which is a theme park, over the summer, and like it's a bunch of like roller coasters and stuff. And I was actually talking to these guys, like Jason and Kyle and them in the chat, and Kyle was like joking around with me, telling me like, "Oh, don't fall off the roller coaster" or whatever, and it was great. But what I didn't tell them was that probably about a half hour after Kyle sent me that, I went on one of the roller coasters, and the it wasn't like a traditional one where it wasn't like a bucket or like a strap in like chest strap one. It just compressed your legs into the seat, and it was supposed to use like G-force to keep you like held back. And so as we were going up, what they didn't realize is that mine and my brother's seat didn't click in all the way.
Oh shit.
So, and it was one that went up and then kind of went straight down at a 90-degree angle and just whipped you around. So as it went down, I was fine because the force held me back, but the second that it turned, one of my legs came loose, and I had to like kind of like mold myself to the roller coaster. Otherwise, I was fucking flying.
God.
That would
So,
have
like-
been so fun.
Oh, what if I would have been dead?
Until you hit the ground and kind of went everywhere. But
But yeah, so I had to, like, I gripped onto my brother, and then I wrapped my legs around, like, the edge of the seat so that way I could try to stay on. But yeah, like, one of my legs came completely free, and I almost flew off the roller coaster.
Shit in hell.
Jeez.
Yep.
So, like, I don't have a really good recent one. Like, I have the normal, I probably pulled out in front of traffic too late, but did it anyway kind of stories, but everybody has those, so those don't count. I did die once. A couple times. A fun story about that. Not like video game deaths either. I was born a couple of weeks premature, and I came out... The way my dad described me was like bruises all over my body, like somebody must have taken to my mother with a baseball bat and she never knew about it. Because I was all kind of fucking mangled. But I spent like 2 or 3 weeks in, neonatal, the intensive care unit out there at the Lubbock Hospital. And I did die at least once, I know. And they were constantly like, let him live, Franken baby.
Shit,
So
man,
that
you
was
actually died.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's fun. I'm like a Timex. Took a licking and kept on ticking.
We're gonna have to find a slightly cheerier note to end the podcast on, rather than Kyle's a zombie.
They don't call me Sick Demon for nothing. Nick also has this really fun story. It appears Nick died.
Yeah,
like
Nick's
for
dead.
good though. So we don't
Bye,
have,
Nick.
we can't tell you.
Nick just sent me a Snapchat saying, I give up. So I sent him a Snapchat of me with the frowny face. Then he sent me a Snapchat of his computer background, and it's a picture of a naked woman. And he goes, no sad, boo pictures, or something. Like, cool.
So, back to that bottle of whiskey and...
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is Nick now. What is your masturbation count today so far? Projected count for the week, Monday through Friday, weekends off, obviously.
Wait a second.
It's the question I just received, so I'm going to go with it's Nick.
It's gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Miley Cyrus, would you tap that?
Yes.
No.
No. She's rubbish.
I would
Yeah, she's,
VMA Miley?
No.
No. Because that suit she wore made her butt look like a chicken. But... post that picture... Like, after that picture, I would say yes. Though, if you do go with that picture, you could make a joke about finger licking good. And I think that would be entertaining, if nothing else. So I would say yes. Plus, she's got a
The
cool
way
haircut.
the way I answered that question on the Ask.fm was only if I could come in her like a wrecking ball. So, my answer.
Oh, that's a good one.
If there was only one famous person in the entire world, who would it be?
If what?
If there was only one famous person in the entire world, who would it be?
Morgan Freeman.
Robert Downey Jr.
What does
He's
that mean?
Iron Man, after all.
They're all just gonna
I don't
die
know.
apart from one famous person.
I'm just gonna.
Is it like, do we keep a favourite one?
Assumed.
Or do we keep one that we want to abuse?
I'm gonna say favorite one.
And we could keep Shia LaBeouf and just abuse the shit out of his ass. It's like,
I want
Transformers
Jennifer
are awful.
Lawrence.
Your part in Indiana Jones, The Kingdom of the Crystal
Yeah,
Skull
I'll-
makes me want to hurt you.
I'd agree with that, Ash.
Thanks, man.
Who did you say?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, I love Jennifer Lawrence.
She's awesome.
She is like my woman crush. Like, if I were to ever be a lesbian, that is who I would be a lesbian
So if
with.
Jennifer Lawrence is writing you a ticket,
Kyle, this person wants you to finish the story about bunnies.
oh shit. Oh, we didn't get to that because somebody, was it Julius told me that I didn't get to that. So if you're on the Mother thread, you saw me explain the story once on there, and you got the sneak preview of the story for why they joke about that. I had an ex who, for Easter, went out and bought a pair of floppy funny rabbit ears. And on Easter, we fucked for Jesus while she wore flappy floppy funny bunny ears. And I happened to make this story, I brought it up, Lord knows why. I think it was actually after I'd made a joke about Thundercats, and they were like, "You're a fucking furry," and I was like, "No, but this one time, she did wear bunny ears," and then they were like, "Oh my god, That's kind of how that went.
Is that how me and Becca sound to you?
That is. That's a pretty accurate description of how they sound.
So it was just the ears.
Yeah, no, it's just the ears. She didn't have like a tail butt plug or anything like that.
I'm gonna back you up on this one, Carl. I would have done the same.
Yeah. It was festive. What else are you gonna do?
Yes. Yeah.
That was the support I've been waiting on this whole time. And now you, the faithful listeners, know exactly why.
I'm gonna edit out my support.
Fuck you.
Alright, let's stop.
It's the end of the cast as we know. Until next time.